Okay, this video is about supply. The definition of supply is the quantity that firms are willing and able to supply at a given price. So for an example, the supply curve, let's look at a high price here. At a high price, firms would be willing and able to supply a huge quantity of the products they are selling in order to maximize from the high price. So at a high price, the quantities that firms would be willing to supply the product at would be very high. At a very low price, the quantity that firms would be willing and able to supply the product would be very low. Let's remember the objective of the firm is to maximize their profits. So if the price of the product is high, then of course the firms are going to be willing and able to supply the product at a high price. So let's just link these two dots here. Let's label this curve S for supply. Now, movements along the supply curve, just like the demand curve, movements are caused by a change in price. So for an example, at price 1, we'll go along to the supply curve, we'll go down and quantity 1. Now, if price increased, go along to the supply curve, go down, the quantity that firms will be willing and able to supply the product at would increase from Q1 to Q2. This causes a movement along the supply curve, and this movement is called an extension in supply, because we can see at P1 and Q1 this is the quantity supplied at this point here, but when price increases to P2, the quantity supplied increases, therefore it's an extension in supply. Now if price went down to P3, we go along to the supply curve, we go down, the quantity supplied will decrease, and this is because the price has gone down, so firms would be less willing and able to supply their product. So quantity will fall, causing a movement along the supply curve in the other direction, and this movement is called a contraction in supply. And that's because at Q1 supply was here. Now the price has decreased from P1 to P3. Quantity is now at Q3, which is lower than the original Q1. So we can see that there has been a contraction, a decrease in supply from Q1 to Q3. The next video we will be discussing shifts in supply.